Hi everyone, my name is Isabell Park and this is me. Ever since I was a young girl, my dream was always to change the world. I was born in South Korea, a country that I love. Some facts about South Korea is that we make world-class cinema, world-class music, and we're the fastest developed country in the world through innovation and technology. As you can see, I love my country. I'm proud of this country. However, I'm concerned, especially in the way the metaverse is impacting my motherland, South Korea. Metaverse. People recently haven't stopped talking about the metaverse since last year. Ariana Grande's Fortnite concert, Facebook's recent rebrand to Meta, and Justin Bieber purchasing an NFT for $1.3 million. Lots of buzz behind this world, but what is the metaverse? Nobody seems to know what the metaverse really is, and let me tell it to you today simply, and hopefully my friends and family will stop bothering me about the definition. Metaverse is a digital world currently entered through virtual reality (VR) or augmented reality (AR) that allows people to interact, mimicking the real world. The metaverse combines aspects of social media, online gaming, and cryptocurrencies, which will allow users to work, play, shop, and socialize. Now that we understand the term metaverse, what's happening with metaverse and Korea? South Korea announced on November 8th, 2021, that Seoul would be the first major city to enter the metaverse. The South Korean capital has invested 3.3 million USD dollars into this project. And how does this look like? They hope to open up a virtual public service center where avatar public officials in the metaverse will provide consultations and civil service. And how is the metaverse impacting the society? There was a case study of a 37-year-old Che Ji-hyung's frustration with the real estate prices and regulation in the physical world drove him to buy property in geolocation based in one of the most expensive areas in Seoul, Gangnam, on Earth 2 platform. South Korea shows how persistent and structural inequalities are driving people to seek out alternatives. It's the trend of digital assets, and amid rising inflation, people still want to maximize their returns in hopes of making any gains possible. This led me to research deeper the concerns of the metaverse currently. This will bring people stuck at home, trapped in a virtual headset, which can lead to loneliness and less interaction with the real world. Digital inequity, low-income households, and vulnerable communities will be impacted with the inability to access new emerging technologies. Losing sight of reality as more and more people spend time in the virtual world. There will be a blur between the physical and the digital worlds. Centralization. Do we really want Mark Zuckerberg, these new metaverse platforms, or even the government to hold power in the metaverse? Do we want to repeat the same consequences we had in Web 2.0? Who's going to hold the power of the metaverse? As the metaverse is still in the premature infrastructure, during this time, can we strip the power from the system and take ownership of the metaverse? And this brings me to the question, how can we impact the near future world by taking ownership of the metaverse? I want to introduce you to the Powerless Metaverse, design intervention for ownership, inclusivity, and equity for a humane future. In order to take ownership of the metaverse, I decided to tackle these concerns of the metaverse through design interventions that were built on inclusivity, equity, clarity, and hope for the humane future. Today, I will take you to my design interventions of the Powerless Metaverse by answering these following questions. Let's go to the first question. How can we design for inclusivity by democratizing property ownership? Let me take you to the inclusive metaverse. I'm excited to share with you Decentra. Decentra is a micro-investing metaverse real estate platform that is designed for low to middle class income folks. The opportunity here is to design a better way for low to middle class income earners who struggle to buy property in the real world to find opportunities to take ownership in the properties in the metaverse. Before designing, I wanted to get real world insight, so I went out to interview a couple of people for user interviews and gained very valuable insights. The first insight was this concept of micro-investing to cater to my users who do not want a big commitment. The concept of investing in increments will help users to get started into digital property investments easily. Secondly, including inclusive elements into my design to show that decentral values all gender, all ages, nationality, and socioeconomic levels was needed. Next was the insight to get users to feel like they're learning while they're interacting with the app. There was a need for an education component to guide them through unfamiliar information. Lastly, there was an insight to get users to visually see the potential with their investments and get users to feel confident and motivated as they are investing towards a digital home. In order to help you get into the perspective of my user, here is Anne. She's 32 years old and she's in the low to middle class income bracket. Some of her frustrations are that she wishes to have assets of her own and wants to grow her net worth and feels like it's impossible to buy a physical home. She doesn't know how to get involved in the Web 3.0 space, and some of her goals and ambitions is that she wants to start caring about her assets and investments. Now on to the final design. Let me show you how Decentral works. Anne will create her account, then choose her preferred language. And Decentral will ask her about her financial background. But maybe she doesn't know what net worth is. Then she will click on the net worth and she will be able to learn on the go. Same goes for metaverse investment. Maybe she doesn't know what metaverse means. Decentral will not exclude. Then Decentral will gather your information and will start giving you recommendations of your potential properties. Now you enter the home page where you're able to see Anne's goals and a call to action to invest in increments or roundups. Anne is interested in Decentraland properties, and you can see the ranges and the price and the potential of when she's able to attain her metaverse property, which will be able to motivate her to keep investing. With Decentra, I hope to see an inclusive future in the metaverse that is democratizing property ownership for all gender, all nationalities, and all income levels. Now, onto the equitable metaverse. How can we design for equity by empowering community and co-ownership? Everyone is wondering if the NFT market is a hype, and we'll never know until we fast forward the future. But according to studies, metaverse market will potentially reach $800 billion in 2024. And currently, NFT market cap is at $41 billion. And one thing we're noticing right now is that the NFT market is booming, and there are people that are interested. Currently, NFT that we know, like Bored Ape Yacht Club, is very pricey and owned by many celebrities, which is why NFTs are slowly becoming the mainstream. Is NFT market leading towards decentralization? It seems though the rich are getting richer and there's no decentralization of power. There is a need for an NFT enabling product for everyday creators. So I introduce to you Create. Create is a service that empowers everyday creators to build NFTs together for a Web3 in an equitable way. Connect, build, and divide. This is a community platform that will help you to connect with different creators and be able to build projects together. How Create works is user will build a profile and be able to explore projects and connect with different members of the community. Maybe user found creators to collaborate with and decides to create NFTs together. Then creators can commit to this project and build. Then choose to use Create's tool to divide the shares equally on platform by receiving database of fair and equal shares. Then finally, the team can sign contracts for equitable ownership. Create empowers everyday creators in the Web 3.0 space. Now, onto the bridge metaverse. How can we design for clarity by bridging the gap between physical and digital reality? I'm excited to share with you Leone. Leone is AR glasses that will bridge the gap between physical and digital realities. When I began my exploration of my product, I started in the deep future. My future was dystopian. There was something in the future where the world has gotten to the point where many people do not understand the difference between having properties in the real world versus in the metaverse. Now, one's net worth is not determined only with the things in the physical, but in the digital. This quote states, "We're craving physical togetherness more than ever. Technology will instead find ways to merge with our everyday reality and turn the unreal real. blurring the lines between the two and making it almost impossible to recognize where one starts and the other ends. There is a need for a product in the near future that will clarify the lines between physical and digital realities. Leone focuses on augmented technology as a tool to bridge the gap between physical and digital realities. The AR glasses will allow you to be in both realities and keep you to distinguish the digital and the physical. Lastly, the hopeful metaverse awaits. How can we design for hope through education using the tool of technology? Have you ever imagined if augmented realities can actually bridge us closer to the physical world? Sensi is an AR-powered nature experience that utilizes education to help us to reimagine what was here before us. The emotional embodiment of this experience is hope. Hope that technology of the future does not have to look so dark. Sensi enhances your connection to Mother Nature through the learning of indigenous flowers of New York City. Now, let me introduce you to the Indigenous Garden of New York City. How to enter is through an iPad or a personal phone. You have to scan the QR code, and you will be able to enter the garden. The aspect of abundance of beauty shown through AR technology will help you to retain the indigenous flowers and appreciate them. The AR technology will emotionally give you the feeling of hope for the future world by enhancing the physical reality with the tool of technology. Lastly, as a call to action, I handed out QR sticker codes that will link to resources of community gardens in New York to rewild New York yourself. I want to challenge all of you today as a part of the community to take ownership yourself of how we can determine the future world with the emerging technologies and carry hope to build out a humane future together. Thank you.
There had to be a thesis about the metaverse, so thank you for being the thesis. And now when someone says, so what's this metaverse? You can just tell them, well, it's about true decentralization, property micropayments, NFT collaboration with blockchain verification, and an equitable future, maybe some flowers at the end. So it's good that you've given us a little bit more basis in what Web3 is and what's involved with it. I'm wondering if you can tell us a little bit more about Sensi and how it presents a hopeful metaverse. I'm really attracted to that notion.
Yeah, so Sensi was a super fun experience. It allowed people to really get out there, out of the indoors and be able to connect with Mother Nature. And I feel like the hope aspect is the component of education to be really able to reimagine what was before us and be able to see what we were not able to see through technology and utilizing the tool of technology to retain information.
Yeah, I think I'm enchanted by this idea that there's like this abundance, this flood of, and it's like local flora and fauna, right? Specific to the city. And so that we are in some sense overwhelmed by the abundance of it. And then when we actually see it, maybe just a little of it, we recognize it in a way. So you're like priming the mind. And I do wonder like what else we could prime the mind for in using AR, but I like the hopeful metaverse. So you came in really, really interested in this in Web3, and now you've spent a year talking to people, talking to subject matter experts. Have some of your opinions and feelings about this, like, you know, really super hyped, but potentially, you know, I mean, explosive from a business perspective, have your ideas, prejudices, feelings, hopes, and fears changed over the course of the year?
Yeah, I think after studying the metaverse for a year, I think my opinions have become neutral. And I feel like...
Hold on. Very measured so far, good.
Yeah, and I think it's really because knowing that I can use design to be able to take ownership of the metaverse, but I don't think I'm naive to think that it's going to be so hopeful because of design, but I want to not be hopeless about it. And I want there to be a call to action for more designers to be able to take ownership of the way that they can build out the humane future.
Great answer. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Isabell.
Thank you.